And so, all right, we are live on the air. Welcome, everybody. Joe for Joe Wentz Project here with a live broadcast this evening. And I have a special guest, Mr. Dave Nesdall. Mr. Dave, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. We're trying to get set up here and everything, so hopefully everybody can bear with us.
Yeah,
Technical difficulties, man.
yeah. I understand. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so we're trying to get set up
What's
here.
going on, man?
Not much, man. We just got done eating some dinner a while ago. Okay, good. We got it here pulled up here. All right, and the live chat is up. There we go. All right.
I've got
Got
no
done.
one in my live chat. I've got no one here, and it's not
Right.
not. It hasn't. It says I'm
It's playing.
waiting for Joe Wentz is what it says.
Yeah, it's playing on my end,
Wow.
but I guess we'll just have to
Let me refresh.
kind of yeah. So yeah, we just got done eating some dinner a little while ago. Had some Taco Bell and all that stuff, and just kind of kicked back. I was supposed to be at work tonight, but my load did not go this evening, so I was told to take the night off.
Okay.
So that's what I did. So I
Well,
said,
he
all
says
right.
waiting for Joe Wentz on my side. I don't know. There's something up with my phone. So I'm
Yeah,
flying blind.
okay. Soon as we figure out what's going on here, we'll hopefully be able to see the chat. Okay. Anyway, so understand, man, that you have a new guitar that you
You
like
need
to.
this one?
There you go. Yes, that beautiful shark.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. It just got wired today. I'm so happy with it. It's really amazing.
That looks fantastic,
Thank
man.
you. It may get a little loud. I hope you don't mind, but I'm plugged in. But
Oh, it sounds great, man.
yeah,
Sounds awesome.
I mean, not really much you can do on these chats because the sound gets a little funny, but it's if you were here, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing to hear it.
It looks amazing. I can only imagine it sounds amazing. We got black belt, yellow belly in the house. Center is
Oh,
in the
cool.
house so far. So we just got on here, so we still got some time.
Mm-hmm.
Black belt wants to know, Mr. Dave, how does that guitar play?
It plays great. The neck is it's kind of on the thin side. Not Ibanez thin, but I mean it's taken from the guitar is basically a '76 Ibanez Explorer or Ibanez Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a thin neck.
Right.
The action is low like the rest of my guitars, but it does need some fretwork. The frets are not level. There's some fret buzz, which I play with so much distortion you can't really hear the fret buzz right now, but I can feel it. It's more of a feel thing, and I'll get that taken care of in the next few days. But
Okay.
it's great. The guitar's great. It resonates crazy. It's heavy. It's a heavy guitar. It's about 8.5 to 9 pounds. But
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. But it's huge. The guitar's it's huge. It's humongous.
That is cool. So from start to finish, what's up, Mike himself? Brincy Rocks. Welcome, everybody. So from start to finish, how long did this project take?
I didn't build it.
I know you didn't build it, but I mean, just
I ordered it in April.
Oh, okay.
For my birthday, April, I think the week of the 19th, I ordered it.
Hey, Jim. Michael Smith. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just got it. It's finished today. I just had it wired, and
Right.
it's really the wiring job is really neatly done. Everything is very neat. You can see in here. Let's see if you can see in here. See how all the wires are nicely tied down. Everything is nice and neat.
Yes, it's very awesome.
Yeah, so
super awesome.
It's a great guitar. It feels great. It has a brass nut. The tuning pegs are the way Eddie's are. It has they're shallers, 3 gold and 3 chrome. The gold buttons are bigger than the chrome ones, like on
Okay.
guitar. Also, the on the top, the washer that goes on the top here, the washers for the E and the G are black. It's very funny, but on Eddie's, that's the way they are. I don't know if they're just
wow.
I don't know if they're rusted on Eddie's and that's why they look black, or they are black, but that they are, nevertheless, they're black.
I did not never know he had 3 or 2 separate color tuners on that guitar. I never.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Never
and
knew
2
that.
sizes, 2 different sizes.
I wonder why that was. Was he just trying to be different?
It's just what he had, laying around.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Michael Smith says, I can't tell you how awesome that guitar looks, Dave. I love it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it looks great. And once I get the fretwork done on it, it'll play great. It plays good now, but it could play better. It could be better. And I don't have the time to get it done before I go to North Carolina, and I'm leaving on Friday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Coming to North Carolina, leaving on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Jim Guidry says, Joe, are you off tonight? Yes. I was supposed to work, man, and my load didn't go. It got canceled out. So stayed home.
That's a good thing, right?
It's a good thing. I didn't get paid for today because it's, now I'll get paid for tomorrow. Whether I work or not, I'll get paid, but hopefully I'll work, because tomorrow's the 4th.
Sure.
But hopefully it works out. But we'll see. I'll know in the morning. But so right now, what are you playing through when you're sitting there playing that sharp? What setup?
It's behind me. It's the that head that's turned on right there, and a 212 cabinet.
Wow. Okay.
It's my buddy Jack from Rock and Roll Amps makes that head, and it's very much like a 100-watt Friedman style amplifier. There's no pedal on it. It's just the overdrive from the amplifier itself. I have a delay on it, and unfortunately, this noise here is because I'm sitting right in front of my computer. It's a lot more quiet than that, but
it picks up that feedback.
It's just the amp distortion.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know. I really don't know how good it sounds or how clear it sounds on this thing, but it is what it is, and it's a little loud, but it's a little loud for this situation, but it's still kind
of gets the point across.
Kind of house. It's kind of like house volume, not gig. Certainly not gigging volume.
Right.
But it's a 100-watt amplifier, so it's really there's really no bedroom volume on it.
There's really not. No, it's not. Now I remember you saying that you weren't crazy about getting a Shark, but now that you have,
I wasn't, but the price was right, so I was like, well, the price, and it seems to be a nice guitar. I took a chance. I just took a chance.
Yeah.
Like, well, even if
you rolled the dice and you won, my friend.
Yeah, even if the guitar is crappy for the price I got it for, I was like, well, I can always sell it. And it's a great guitar, really great.
That's awesome. Now, are you able to say who?
Oh yeah, Donnie Ward built the guitar from blocks of wood. He showed me the process from the very beginning. There were literally 4 big blocks of wood, and he showed me as he glued them together. He showed me as he cut the body and the neck and all. As it progressed, he sent me photos, and
wow, so he kept you updated to the whole process.
It was built from scratch for me.
Wow, That's awesome.
Then my buddy Nick painted it and reliced it, and
Wow.
and my buddy Jack at Rock and Roll Lamps did the wiring. The only thing I did was pay for it. I didn't build this one at all.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. Okay,
This one I did not build at all. I you know what? I didn't really have the time nor the energy. It's not a guitar that I was in love with to begin with. I bought it for the collection. I'll play it every once in a while. It turned out to be an amazing guitar, and I'll play it more often. But I didn't build this one.
Right. So, well, you got plenty of those behind you that you've built yourself.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. We got Michael Blackie DH says, hey y'all. Michael Smith says it sounded good when you hit a chord. Play a few power chords again. Nice. Now, does the neck pickup work?
Yeah. I didn't do what Eddie did on his. I decided to do regular, Gibson Les Paul type thing where the switch works just like a Les Paul. Down is the bridge pickup, middle is both pickups, and up is the neck pickup. I have a hole in this guitar where right in the middle there on that silver stripe.
Oh yeah.
If I really want to put a stutter switch in it, I can put a kill switch there. If I really want to, but I've got so many guitars with kill switches in it. I didn't need to do that with this guitar.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted it to be a fully functional guitar, not just a one pickup guitar.
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea, man. I think that's awesome. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm stoked over the way it looks. The guitar.
It looks dead on, man.
I mean, the color is dead on. It's right on.
Wow.
The body cut, everything about it is dead on. Every relic mark. I mean, Nick really went out and did the right thing, man. He just really did the right thing.
Wow. Look at that. Man. It's beautiful.
All the holes in the headstock, which I don't really like, but I mean, they're in the original. So.
Wow. That's so cool, man. Mike himself, 701, says, great guitar, Dave. I broke out the EV8 Stripe series this evening.
Oh, cool.
Blackie DH says, oh, nice, Dave. Cool guitar.
Thank you.
Brent C. Rock says, I would love to plug that into my Black Star 200.
I would imagine it would sound great. It would really sound great.
Yes.
I never thought I'd like an Explorer guitar. I never thought I'd like the shape or like the feel. It really feels like home. It feels like I've been playing it forever. And
that's cool.
That's
man.
weird because I play Strat style bodies mostly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sitting down. It's a little weird with this big shark fit up here. A little,
yeah.
But it's not that bad.
Right. Take maybe it's kind of like for me when I played a Flying V the first time, it was really awkward.
Yeah, you can't sit down with a Flying V.
I mean, you can, but it's like the guitar's like over here because you have it, your leg in between the
between the
separation point there, and it's like, man, this feels weird.
It's even weird playing a Flying V standing up.
It is, and I've noticed that the weight is
very neck heavy.
The weight is really off on them. But mine, the one it's my wife got it for me a long time ago. It plays great.
Mm-hmm.
It feels fantastic and it sounds great. It's just I was like, man, so
nothing wrong with that.
I love it. It's really cool. Michael Smith, the paint job on that guitar is amazing. Absolutely beautiful, he says.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Well, when you come to New York next month, you can check it out. You can play all my guitars if you want. We'll get you over here and you can have a field day.
Awesome. Johnny Beans checking in from Walnut Creek.
Hey, Johnny.
And
Johnny,
he's
we're way
given
ahead of you. Joe asked me to do this when he asked you to do it. So
yes. And he says he's given a negative egg. Oh, that's funny. Walnut Creek. That's funny. So now let's see, because your last guitar that you kind of messed with was the standard. Is that correct?
that blue Wolfgang Standard right there.
Right.
Yep. That's the last one
Cool.
that I built.
Right.
I do have another one that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a very clean, unrelicked 5150 guitar.
Oh,
But
okay. I was going to ask you, are you done
I'm not
now?
gonna put clear coat or anything on it. But I'm gonna make it look like when Eddie's was brand new, before it said 5150 and before it had the stars on it. Because I have this whale tail Floyd Rose that has it's brand spanking new, and I'm gonna build a guitar around this.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Man, that is very nice.
Yeah. So, this would be really too shiny if I put this on any one of my relic guitars. I know that sounds idiotic, but
No, it makes sense.
I want since it's a brand new looking bridge, I wanted to make a brand new looking guitar and have it all age at the same time.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. We got Humbucker Lovers in the house. He says, "Hey guys."
Hey man.
Johnny says, "Gotta bounce, rock on, dudes."
See you later, Johnny.
And Mike himself says, "Dave, you get used to it, the shape of the guitar. My most treasured axe is my 1994 Gibson Explorer, a real great sounding guitar."
Mm-hmm. They are. There's a lot of wood. There's no question that the more dense the wood, the more wood that there is, chances are it's just going to sound and resonate. And the second I plugged it in, I guess about an hour before we went on, I was floored. I could not believe how good this guitar sounded. I just hit a chord. I hit an open E chord, and it was just like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. And, it was so good that those that old interview where Eddie had said that he thought that the guitar didn't sound as good after he cut it out, after he took the chainsaw to it. He thought lost. I don't see how that could possibly be, because I just that guitar must have sounded insanely good before he cut it for him to say that, because it's still, this of course is not that guitar, and every guitar is different, but it's fairly the same type of wood, and it's the same exact. It's exactly verbatim what a mid-70s Destroyer is. Everything about it, and you just heard it. I know you didn't hear it the way I'm hearing it, but it kills. It's absolutely thick. It's big. It's very Les Paul sounding. It's killing.
Well, your main axe that you like to play is a Les Paul.
For the most part, yeah, I like playing my Les Paul. I also I love humbuckers. So even a Strat with a humbucker, my any one of these Wolfgangs, and I love bridge humbuckers. I'm a huge fan of the bridge. I never used to be. I always used to lay on the neck pickup mostly, and I've in the last couple of years I've really fallen in love with the bridge pickup. And you'll find me more or less on the bridge pickup most of the time.
Right. Yeah, I like to stay on the bridge pickup a lot, and then sometimes in a little solo spot here and there, I might go to the bridge just to kind of give it a little different tone while you're soloing. Sometimes, sometimes I'll float back and forth, but I'll eventually, land back to the bridge position.
Yeah.
And so you have this guitar. You're saying that you're going to do another build, a clean 5150.
Yeah.
Is that, as of right now, is that going to be your last build? because you've been building guitars for years. So
No,
are you still?
I'm sure. I'm sure I'm not done.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you're not
I'm
close. You're
sure.
not closing the book on that yet.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I may close the book on striped Van Halen replicas, but I love
Hmm.
building guitars. I
Okay.
do build guitars for people. I don't build Van Halen guitars for people, but if someone wants a guitar, I build them.
Right. Okay. That's
If
very
someone wants
interesting.
something that doesn't have stripes on it, I'll build it. If someone wants something that Eddie has played in the past, as long as they don't want me to stripe it up and paint it like Eddie's, I'll build a guitar that looks and sounds just like his guitar, but I won't stripe it for you. I just, I just that's I can't do it. Not that I can't, I won't. I'll do it for myself because I'm not selling these guitars. But if
Right.
I'm going to
That's
sell a guitar, I'm not gonna paint it like Eddie's guitar. I'll build you whatever he's had, but I won't sell it. I won't paint it.
stripe it.
I
Right.
won't paint the striped motif on it.
Right. Totally understandable. And I don't blame you either. And it's kind of wild because before uh, from what I understand, before he started trademarking all this stuff, back in the '80s, there was a lot of people trying to cop his design, the
Yeah,
stripes and
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah,
People were
including
trying to get away with that. And I actually seen
the
that one
company he
time in a
was
music
working
store.
with.
I saw that.
Yeah, including the companies he'd be working with. They'd make guitars, for resale, and he'd be like, no, that's just for me. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah, I went. It was, God, man, I couldn't tell you how. It had to be in the mid '80s, and I went to some guitar store somewhere when I used to live in Charlotte, and well, then I'm looking at guitars, and I seen this one guitar, and you could tell it was like a cheaply kind of made guitar,
Mhm.
but it had the red and the white stripes, but it didn't have any black.
I've
It was
seen
just
those
red with the
before.
white stripes, and I said, ooh, I know what they're trying to do there, So I thought that was pretty wild. I was like, man, I can't believe they're copping that, and that was that long ago. Um,
Two
Mike.
companies, two companies that I know that did that were Honer and Fame.
Oh, okay, okay, because I couldn't tell you who it was. It was so long ago. I don't remember. You know, uh, Michael Smith says I might have Dave build that shark guitar for me.
Well, here's the deal. I can't actually build this guitar. I don't build, from pieces of wood. You'd have to get Donnie to do that. But as far as the paint and, once it's together, well, I wouldn't do this motif. This is something that I really don't want to do.
Right.
It's just
It
too
seems like
tough.
it's a lot of work.
It's too tough. I don't really build from scratch. I can buy bodies and necks and put them together. That's what I do.
Right.
I don't build from a blank of wood. But
Right.
that's what Donnie did with this. It was a blank of wood. Uh, I really don't have the time nor the patience, and I certainly don't have the tools to do that. You need a lot of machinery to do that. Michael Smith, I'd love to build you one, but I couldn't. So I would tell you to go get it from Donnie, and Donnie's very affordable.
Here's
Look him up on Facebook. Donnie Ward, Donny Ward, Ward. He'd be happy to build you one.
wow, Donnie Ward. There you go, folks. So if you want a shark guitar, get in touch with Donnie Ward on
Yeah,
Facebook.
just remember this. It's going to be wood. It's not going to be painted like this either. It's going to be a wooden guitar.
Right.
If you want to paint it, you have to do that.
Right. Understand. Here's a request from Humbucker Lover. He wants to know, Dave, will you build me a Hello Kitty guitar?
Sure.
Oh, good gracious
Unfortunately, it's going to cost more than the company.
alive. Got to make it worth your while, right?
The guitars that I build are in the $2,000 range. I don't build anything with cheap parts or cheap components. Everything is top of the line stuff. That's the only way I'll build it. So if you're looking to cut corners, I'm not your guy. I'll only build like really good stuff.
Right. When was the last time you actually built a guitar for a customer?
A few months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, was that like a Strat style or?
No, it was a Van Halen style without the stripes.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, so, I saw something on. Actually, I thought it was pretty wild. It was on YouTube. This was probably about a month ago, and it popped up on my feed, and it was you, and you were like on some. I don't know if it was some local show in that's in your area, and I can't remember the name of the show now, but it's like this guy was interviewing you,
Kevin's Corner.
and you were talking. Yeah,
That
Kevin's
was
Corner.
right
That's what
there.
it
That
was.
was
And you was,
right there, right in front of that wall. That was maybe 4 years ago, 4 or 5
right.
years ago.
Yeah, I recognized the wall, and I said, "What is this?" And I looked, and the guy did like an interview, and it for some reason it popped up on my YouTube feed, and it said Kevin's Corner, featuring Dave Nesdall. I was like, "Huh?" And
Yeah.
I sat there and watched it. I was like, "Man, check that out." I thought that was pretty cool. Now, was that a local TV thing in the area, or was that just a?
Well, he and his mom own one of the local newspapers, and he also has a cable TV show. And his cameraman is a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, and they were doing a spot on local musicians. And my friend who was the cameraman said, "Hey, my buddy Dave, why don't we ask him if he'll do an interview, and maybe he could do some playing and blah, blah, blah." And, he's got a lot of guitars he could show, and that's what they did.
That's cool, man. I thought that was awesome. That was really cool. It was a cool interview, by the way, too. I enjoyed it. I really did.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it. Let's see. Brian Davies has a statement. Dave, need all my Tessie switch. Need all had my Tessie switch today, so had to take it up to the Guitar Genius to add to the Wolfie, but I'm not having it in the usual place.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going to put it, Brian? You're going to put it where the tone knob usually is?
Billy Shelton. How you doing, Mr. Shelton? How are you, sir?
Hey, Bill.
Let's see.
For everyone in the chat room, unfortunately, I can't see the chat room today for some reason, so don't think I'm just not paying attention. I can't see the chat room, so
yes. It took a few minutes for me to be able to pull it up on my phone, so I don't know what's going on, but so far we're doing okay. And Adam Scheinberg's in the house.
Hey, Adam.
And then my wife's in there. She's in the house.
Mrs. Wentz.
Humbucker Lover says, Dave is truly a legend. I respect Dave more than he'll ever know.
Thank you very much. I'm just like everyone else here, but thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
And let's see here. Brian Davies has another comment. I do like Dave's Shark guitar, but have to say, first guitar I ever had was a Destroyer. Huh. Pretty cool.
Yeah, those are great. They're great guitars. They really are. I was against it forever. And you guys all know that I said I wasn't going to get one. I wasn't going to build one. I wasn't going to have one. I don't really like the look. I don't really like blah, 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 blah. Lo and behold, I have one. So you never know what's going to happen. You just never know.
Here's something I'd like to get your opinion on. Something that's kind of been making its way in the guitar circles here the past couple of weeks. And I haven't really heard you or Johnny say much about it, and maybe you have, and maybe I just missed it. But the Washington Post a couple of weeks ago put an article out about how the electric guitar is dying off.
It's unfortunate, but it's true.
And because everything now is kind of like electronic dance music, or kind of pop, or other genres of music. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that that it is dying off, and it's lost. The sales have lost a lot of money. They
have, because there are no kids. There are no guitar heroes these days. There's no one that's playing guitars that
is making a breakthrough.
Well, no, I mean, but to kids these days, kids don't care. They play their games, their video games and stuff, and they don't care about guitar music. And mostly it's I hate, not that this is a bad thing because I don't want to put any music down, but mostly kids these days are into rap and today's soul music and today's dance music. They're not into the rock and roll that we're into, and guitar music. No one is really into guitar music. The kids of today.
Yeah, isn't that a shame though?
I think that unfortunately is dying off with our generation, or maybe the generation that's right below us. But I think what music needs, or what rock music needs, is a new kid prodigy that plays guitar. Someone that the kids resonate with. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by kids, I mean 15 to 30. Mm-hmm. And it's got to. And I think what needs to happen is that there needs to be a genre change again. Something that guitar is used for, but something that's gonna shake the kids up, because I sound like I'm turning into my dad, because I used to hear him say, turn that shit off or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen to my music or whatever.
Yeah.
And as we get older, we get set in our ways, and we love what we love. And guitar music is what we listen to. Whether it be 50s rock and roll, 60s up until the 90s or whatever, what have you. But the guys like Joe Bonamassa, Eric Johnson, all these guitar players, they're great, but they're doing what they want to do. They're not cultivating the kids of today. They're not writing music for the kids of today. They're writing what they want to write. They're playing what they want to play, because that's what they love. So right. when they die off, or when they're not die off literally, but when they're done, who's going to take their place? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's
back in the 70s, and I'm not that old. I'm 47 years old, but in the 70s, there was a plethora of guitar players, of guitar heroes, of guitar music. And, every song on the radio, there's a great guitar playing. I mean, whether it be Bad Company, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Eric Clapton, Free.
Peter Frampton.
I mean, everybody had a good guitar player in their band. Everyone, Rod Stewart always had great guitar players playing.
He did.
Everybody had a great guitar player, and the solos in every song were great. And, it was all guitar driven. It's not like that anymore.
It sure isn't. It's sad.
Guitar hero is Taylor Swift.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I'm hearing, and I'm like, wow, that's
Taylor Swift is a guitar hero today.
Is that is crazy. Insane. That is crazy. Hey, Vigilant, he says, hey Joe, hey Dave, hey everyone. Mike is himself. I agree 100% with your comment. 100%. Brian Davies says, I blame Simon Cowell. His American Idol and X Factor, he stuck his music taste on the new generation.
Oh, no, I go farther back, and I blame it on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really where it started. That's where all that negativity started, was Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Michael Smith, we need more artists like Joe Bonamassa to spread the love of guitar and get more kids involved with actually playing the guitar.
Agreed, but we need guys like Joe Bonamassa to have a bigger genre of music, and not just. And I love the blues. I'm a blues guitar player, but if you want guitar music to survive, it has to be a broader area of music.
Yes. Hey, Miss Lynn, how are you? Mike's himself. No. Dave's got me beat on that game. He's a heck of a guitar player. Let's see. There's Miss Lynn. I hope Miss Lynn's doing well tonight. Thank you for hopping in.
Hey, Lynn.
let's see.
Again, everyone that's in the chat room, forgive me for not saying hi. I don't have the chat room. I don't have the chat box up. I can't get to it tonight for some reason. So if it looks like I'm just in space here and not paying attention, it's because I can't see you.
Right, and what I'm doing is I'm reading Dave the comments, so he knows what's going on. So if it's on my end, which it might be, Dave, I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. I just want everyone to know, like when you say hello and I don't say hello, it's because I can't see who it is.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I understand. Mark Fun Jones, what's going on? Mark Fun Jones, man, he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and his one of his best friends is Adam Willem Carter, a great artist. He's the gentleman I've been doing the collaboration videos with. He's playing the drums.
Cool. He's the drummer?
Yeah, he's the drummer, and he lives in Florida, and he sends me these clips, and I try to build a song around it. So Mark Fun Jones, thank you for hopping in, man. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it, man. Good to see you in here this evening, and don't be a stranger.
Nice.
And let's see, Adam Scheinberg. Okay, guys, enough of the Debbie Downers. Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, it's just like, wow, man. I'm like,
well, listen, I didn't start it. I was just asked a question and my opinion.
Right. I mean, and you're right. I agree with you. It's things are just so much different, and you and I
I still play. I'm playing this weird thing.
Absolutely. So people in the chat, and Mr. Dave and myself, we're still keeping that alive because this is what we love to do. In my spare time anyway. I love to play. I love to create music. It's a form of expression. It's an art form for me. And so yeah, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Mark Fun Jones, you'll do great. Maybe I'll throw some bass lines in there once I get good enough. I'm not in y'all's league yet. You crazy, man. Adam EVH, how are you,
hey,
sir?
Man.
Ken Bear, what's going on, my friend? Let's see. Adam Scheinberg has a question. Mr. Dave, did you paint that shark guitar?
Nope, I did not. A buddy of mine did.
Okay. Mike is himself. Joe, ever heard of Blackberry Smoke Rival Sons?
Love Blackberry Smoke.
Rock guitar is not dead, just a little sabbatical. It'll be back. Yeah, that's something I've always wondered because things, they kind of fade away, but they eventually come back around.
Well, you and I never said that it was dead.
I didn't say that, right?
You didn't either. We both said that it was dying.
Right.
And yes, just like trees in the winter, they die. They come back in the springtime. Everything comes back. But at the moment, guitar sales are down. Guitar is down. And, bands like Blackberry Smoke, they're not doing anything right now. They don't have a new record right now. They had a new record a couple years ago, and I don't even think they're on the road. I love that band. That band is one of the best new bands out. But they sound like the 70s, and that's why kids don't really know about them.
They can't relate to that because it's just see, here's another thing too, Mr. Dave, something that I'm sure you've noticed this, but I'd like to bring this up to get your feedback on it. You ever notice now, like, let's say a new album comes out, Blackberry Smoke or whoever, Ace Frehley, somebody, and it's released. It's on the charts for maybe a week or two, and it's gone. It's like you don't even see it. It's out of here.
Records are not like they were.
No, they're not.
In the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s. There are no record companies. Bands these days really put the records out themselves. There's there's very little, if any, promotion. So I mean, I remember when you used to get a Billboard magazine, and it would tell you all the new records that were coming out, and you'd go to all the new records would be out on a Tuesday. That's what were released, always on a Tuesday, and it was the biggest thing. I'd be waiting, I'd be the first Van Halen record come out. I'd be the first person on my block to go to the record store and get one. Record store, doesn't anyone even know what a record store is anymore?
I remember. I don't know if
What's that? What's a record store?
My son, I don't think my son, he'll be 27 this year, and I don't think he's been in a record. He's probably been in a kind of what they call today like you know what I'm saying, but not like it was.
Yeah,
in the
I
80s
talk
and
about
stuff.
places like Sam Goody, and people are like, what is that? Is that like a guitar shop, Sam Goody? No, that's
Exactly. Yeah, I remember Sam Goody in the
your
mall. I remember
your
those.
vinyl and your cassettes. What's a cassette?
Yeah, it's a cassette. I remember back in the day, man, when a new album would come out. Of course, I'd always get the cassette version. Well, I call it cassette albums.
Yeah, because you
You
can
go
put it
into the record store, man, and they have all the posters of the promo stuff. If it was a new band, you'd be like, "Oh, look at that," and then you try to get that stuff when the promo was over. He's like, "Hey, man, can I have that poster, or can I have that, the cardboard
I
cutout
always
or
used to
something?"
do that. I always used to ask.
That was part of the whole experience.
Yeah, I think that's how Rob Johnson got that big Eddie Van Halen standee. That's
right. Right. Yeah, that cardboard cutout. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Let's see. Adam EV8 says, Mr. Dave, he loves your shirt.
Thank you. My Fender Custom Shop shirt.
Yeah, I love that shirt myself. Yeah. Miss Lynn says, the people now, maybe the kids nowadays, have 8-second attention spans.
Well, they'd have a bigger attention span if they played in the dirt outside instead of playing.
Yeah.
Go throw a baseball around.
Yeah. I did that. Growing up, man, went outside and played football and soccer, and whatever. Rode my bike. Did stuff. Let's see.
Yeah, my dad, when I was very young, he'd take me on the weekends, and he'd tell me, "Go play in that dirt. Go get dirty. Go get dirty. Yeah. Go get dirty." And he'd be mad, be angry if I didn't go play in the dirt.
Right. You got to play, man. It's part of being a kid.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
It's a nice, and it wasn't just because he wanted my mom to be pissed off and wash my clothes. He wanted me to know what it was like to, get out, don't watch so much TV. Just go out there and play. You're a kid. Go out and play.
Right. Yeah, that's right, man. It's that's very true. Guitar Samurai 1. I guess that's why so many guitar magazines are no longer published. It's sad.
Yeah, it's all online. Like vintage guitar online. Come on.
Yeah,
I like hard copy. I love turning the pages and seeing the colored ads and reading the articles. I'm that guy. I don't like reading guitar magazines from my email. I hate that.
Look, I just got this in the mail today, and if you can't tell, that is Greg Allman on the front. Yeah,
I got that last week. I got that.
And finally, Guitar World got one right. Finally, then I'll tell you the truth. That's why I've kind of canceled my subscription and got it back again and canceled it, because the stuff I was like, what is going on here? Things have changed.
Right.
It's just
I can't tell you how many countless conversations I've had with Andy Alador, who is one of the head editors of Guitar World magazine. How his life has become like it's hard for him to make a living too, because magazines, no one really buys them anymore. So he's
it's true.
He has to come up with the same amount of articles. He doesn't get paid the same. It's it's just it's harder to live.
Yeah, it's like, it kind of makes me think, like, how much longer a newspaper is going to be around? I mean, it's like, eventually, is that going to be gone in the next 5-10 years? I don't know. Something to think about. Yeah. Miss Lynn says, I can remember waiting at the door Tuesday morning before work. I guess you're talking about for a new release, album release. Excuse me. Adam Scheinberg says, my uncle retired at the right time. Anyone with a decent computer and Pro Tools can make a record and publish it on the internet. Yeah. He's right. And I think that oversaturation of wannabe musicians is really, well, see, the secret's out now. It used to be, you had to go be in a band, you had to go pay your dues, man. You had to go on the road, and there was a secret to all that, the record business back then. Now it's different. Now you can do it in this like little room right here. I can do stuff, mix and master it.
It's good and bad. It's good and bad.
It's good and bad. Yes.
It's bad for the record industry because anybody can do it, but it's good for the artists that are actually good at their craft. Like like Larry Mitchell. Larry Mitchell writes, records, engineers, produces his own music. He makes his own records. He does everything himself, and
Right.
he's an internationally known pro rock star. In my, I mean, he's one of my best friends, and to me, he's still a rock star.
Right. Awesome guitar player.
So the good side is he can do all that stuff. It's a little less expensive than going through, record companies and owing them money and all that stuff, which is not good. But you have to promote yourself, and if you're not willing to work your ass off,
right,
it ain't gonna happen because no one's gonna do it for you.
That's right. Jaden James, what up? What up? How you doing, man? Brent C. Rocks, when we went from analog to digital, it changed a lot. Let's see here. Mike's himself. Yep, I walked through the local record store, bought Van Halen 1984 on vinyl, brought it home, played it once, and then my dog ate it. Lord.
Your dog.
That's oh man, let's see. Looking at the Michael Smith says he's still subscribed to Guitar World too.
I am too. Thank God it comes to the door, because if it was one that comes through the internet, I would just press delete.
Yeah. Adam Scheinberg, resistance is futile. Adapt or be destroyed. Michael Smith, Larry Mitchell is one of the best, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My opinion, too.
Adam Scheinberg says the record companies were really a finance business more than a music business. It was a double-edged sword. Yeah.
And, most of the time, bands are write-offs, or they were write-offs to record companies.
Right.
For every one band that made it huge, there were probably 40 bands that were signed that that were write-offs, and you never heard from them.
Right. Mark Taylor, I was a newspaper reporter, and the internet put me out of a job. My goodness. Gracious alive. Something, Dave, speaking of that, what Adam said about the record company, the new book I got done reading, Running with the Devil, by Noel Monk. Excellent book. And, after Van Halen's first album, when they were done with the album and touring, they were still $1 million in debt to Warner Brothers.
Jeez. Yeah.
They were still $1 million in debt because.
When did you get that book, by the way?
Like 3 weeks ago.
I'm glad you told me, because me and Desiree were going to buy that for your birthday.
Oh no, I got the audio, the audio book, because I had pre-ordered it like I don't know, a month or so ago, and so I went ahead and paid for it. So when it come out, boom, I got a thing from Amazon, from Audible, and it said, your pre-order is now ready for for download.
Yeah, download instead of reading it.
Yeah, I have to. After this, what I do sometimes when I'm driving,
I understand that you drive for a living, so you can't read.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah, and I don't really physically read a book. I mean, I haven't done that in forever, but I'll listen to an audiobook if it's something I really enjoy, and to me that's a more better experience. But I'm in the right position to be able to do that, driving.
Yep.
But
I did that book. I did that with Hagar's book. I happen to have the audio file of that book. And I listen to it when I go on long drives. And I know it's not Hagar that's actually reading it to me. But
no, he's not narrating.
It's somebody that he hired that has his inflections and it kind of sounds like Hagar when he talks.
Yes. They picked the right person to narrate that.
The narrator kind of sounds a little bit like the guy. So it sounds like him telling you the story.
That is the whole trick, when I'm interested in an audiobook. So if you haven't ever tried Audible, give them a shot, man. You can get your first 30 days free, get your free audiobook, and then if you want to cancel, you can cancel. You still get the book free. That's what I did. I'm not sponsored by Audible or nothing like that. I just think it's a cool deal. But yeah, the narrator, makes this either makes or breaks the sale for me on an audiobook. You know, if it's uh, kind of a narrator with a monotone, you know, kind of where their tone don't really change, you know, I'm like, oh, I can't listen to that. It'll put me to sleep. But the guy who's I got a few Van Halen audiobooks or a few audiobooks about Van Halen, and it's I think 2 out of 3 of them it's got the same dude. His name's Fred Berman, and man, he has got the perfect voice for narration, and he narrates this new one by Noel Monk, Running with the Devil. Fantastic book, by the way. And boy, the stories in there I could share with you, man. Golly, that is very cool, very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Pierce, how are you doing, sir? Let's see. Guitar Samurai 1. There is nothing better than reading an actual magazine and buying cassette album, opening it up, and learning all the lyrics to the songs. I remember that. Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was like Christmas. Kids today will never know that. Yeah, I remember because I'd be like, man, what is he saying right there? And you'd get the little jacket out of the cassette thing, you know, and you open it up and say, oh, the words are in here, you know. I remember that. That was really cool. Blackie DH. Yes, he is still a subscriber to Guitar World as well, just like the print version better.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Scheinberg. Dave is right. You need to work your butt off, but I think it's like anything else. You get back what you put into it.
Absolutely.
Yes, Mr. Adam EVH. He wants to know if Dave has pickups in the Shark. Yes, he does. It is.
I do.
It is. He's able to play it. It's fully functional.
Yes. Unfortunately, right now, it's too late. My tenant is home upstairs, and my amp is
right.
Kind of too loud at the moment. I was playing it at the beginning of this video, but in all fairness, it wouldn't be right for me to start playing and chunking up words and stuff.
Right.
But
yeah, that wouldn't go over too well.
No, not right now. If it was before 9 o'clock, I'd have no problem with it. But
right.
Wednesday during my show with Johnny Bean, for the first hour or so, I'll play a little bit so you guys can hear it.
Yeah, there you go. So everybody remember Wednesday to check out Johnny Bean on YouTube. And, I was grateful to have Mr. Dave Nesdall, who is Johnny's co-host on that show, joining me tonight. He was able to take the time out to join. And thank you again, Mr. Dave, for taking the time out to join.
It's always a pleasure, Joe. I love hanging out with you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't say nothing. And Michael Smith says, I have the Running with the Devil audio book too. Going to listen to it on my next long road trip for work. Okay.
Oh, cool.
I won't say nothing, man.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Mark Taylor, you think a long time ago, old people said, how will the music business survive without the wind-up Victoria? Yeah, really. I'm telling you. Michael Smith says, Audible is a great service. I agree. I love them. They're awesome. Adam EVH says, Dave, the guitar looks really nice.
Thank you.
And it turned out great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm loving it. And I'm not a big fan of this body shape. I'm not I always said that I'd never get this guitar. I'd never have it.
Never say never.
Lo and behold.
And
it's great. I think the only thing that I will do to it in the future, in the near future, is I think I'm going to put a kill switch right here in this hole, because the way I have it wired, I have it so both pickups actually work. So I can't do the kill switch there. It's like a regular Les Paul, down being the bridge, middle being both pickups on, and up being the neck pickup. I wanted this guitar to be fully functional. So, it's going to have a couple of mods to it, so it's not going to be exactly like the original one, but that's okay. I'm okay with it.
Right. As long as you're happy with it, man.
Maybe what I'll do, since it's on a silver stripe, maybe I'll put a white kill switch in it.
Oh, wow.
Or a clear one, so that you don't really see it. You have to look hard to see it.
That's really cool. Now, doesn't Mr. Rob have a Shark as well?
He does. I think his is made by Dive Bomb.
Okay. I thought he did. Okay. Center has a question. He says, Dave, what are your thoughts on the EVH Frankie pickups?
I think they're great. The Frankenstein pickup that's made by Seymour Duncan, really. I think it sounds great. It's a very hot pickup, but when you turn the volume down on your guitar, it cleans up pretty nicely too. I have that, and I think it sounds the best in a ash body. I think once you put it in an alder or a poplar body, I think it becomes a little muddy. But in ash, or I think even in a maple body, it would sound great because it's a very warm pickup, and maple and ash are kind of brighter sound. So I think if you're if you're going to get an ash body guitar or a maple body guitar, that humbucker would sound great.
Absolutely. Timothy Pierce has a great comment here. Excuse me, because I remember this, and Mr. Dave, I'm sure you will too. He says, how about the records that were in the magazines, Guitar Player and Guitar
The little floppy records, yeah. The little square records, yeah.
Yes, I remember.
I remember Steve Vai's Blue Powder, I think it's called. I remember getting that when it first came out. I was like, oh my God, Blue Powder, I got to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's where I listened to it.
I remember having the Guitar Duel from Crossroads was in one of the guitar magazines.
I remember that too.
And play it, and I was like, "Oh my God!" That was a big deal back then, But now it's no big deal. Brent rocks. This was a great show. Off to play my EVH. All right, Brent. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Brent, man, rock on.
Let's see. Humbucker says he's going on later. Be sure and check his channel out.
I'll do my best, Humbucker. I'm exhausted. I've been out all day working on this guitar. I'll try to stop by for at least a little while, but I can't promise how long I'll stay.
Oh, Adam, my bad. I did miss that comment. He says, Adam says, Joe, my birthday is coming up and I'm accepting donations, money, guitars, whatever.
That's the best nation in the world,
Yeah, that's right. Center says the EVH Frankie pickups he was asking you about.
Yeah.
He says he's going to put it in his USA BC Rich, and it is made from maple. Thanks, Dave.
There you go. It'll sound great in that guitar.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Mark Taylor says, "Yeah, I used to love those floppy records." Yeah, that's wild. I remember that. Oh man. Oh, this is interesting. The Vigilant says, no hate to none of the three other frontmen in VH, but I feel Paul Rogers should be in Van Halen if they scout for another frontman.
I love Paul Rogers, and he's probably my favorite singer on the planet. Always has been. But I personally think that Van Halen, if none of the singers that have already sung in Van Halen get the job, I think that they should look for tribute band talent, and like Journey did. Arnell, their singer, was in a Journey tribute band, and this way, if Van Halen gets a singer from a tribute band, they'll be able to do all three incarnations of that band without any egos.
Right. Very interesting. Timothy Pierce has a question. I forget the name of the magazine, but do you remember I Bet You Can't Play This?
Sure. Yes.
I remember that, but I can't remember the name of the magazine either.
Yeah.
I can't remember that either. But yeah, Bet You Can't Play This. And I would look at it and say, nope, I sure can't. Next.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play that stuff. Man, that's crazy. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Man, that's about pretty much it for the comments right now. I'm trying to get caught up there. But there was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, man, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Golly.
How about you, Joe? What's new? What's new for you on the guitar front? What do you plan on getting next when you have the dough to get it? What would you like to get? What's on your wish list?
Oh yeah, there you go. Wish list. That's the perfect.
Is whatever, however you need to put it to make it, make it, you know.
Um, I would really like to get. There's an uh, Epiphone Les Paul. I've had my own for a while. It's transparent blue. It's really pretty, and I've had my eye on that. And I just think it's a beautiful guitar, and I'd really like to have it.
Now, why do you want an Epiphone when for a couple $100 more you could have a Gibson? Because of the color of the guitar?
I think because of the color is what gets me the most. And I already have this same guitar, but it's just a different color. And I was real happy with that guitar. And for me, it plays fantastic. I was like, this is an Epiphone,
Okay.
And I was like,
fair enough. I'm not being a snob.
No.
If it was just, if it wasn't about the color, and especially since you already have one.
Yeah, I have one.
I think that maybe you want to save your shekels, save a couple more shekels, and buy an American one, and the difference in playability is big time. Even if you get a studio, a Gibson Les Paul studio,
right.
they really feel really much different than Epiphones.
Right. Yeah. I have what you see right there.
I don't see anything really.
This right here. Let me see if I can get this without. Now my mom and dad got me this years ago. And it's an Epiphone. It's a Les Paul Studio. And he got me this one.
I've never seen it in that color before.
Yeah, he got me this when he retired from work, and I'll tell you a quick story about this. When I walked into, do you remember? I know you might remember this. There was a store in Charlotte at the time, and oh man, what is it? It's I think Sam Ash. The last time I've been there, Sam Ash bought it, but it used to be Mars Music was the name of it.
Mars Music. I remember those stores. They were
Mars Music is what it was, and it was Mars Music. And at this point in time, my parents were still living in Charlotte, but they were kind of like getting ready to move. They had their house up for sale, and they was getting ready to move. And my mom, I took her to a hair appointment at a salon, and my dad, he was at work. I was off this particular day. And so I dropped her off, and I went to Mars Music, and because she said she's going to be at the salon for like 3 hours or something. I was like, well, I'm going to Mars Music. If I said I'll be back. Call me when you're ready. She's like, no, you'll be here when I tell you. No, I'm just kidding. She said I'll give you a holler. I said okay, Mom, no problem. And so went to Mars Music, and they had 4 of these sitting up front, like on these little, these square wooden kind of podiums.
Sure.
Right when you walked in the door, and they had the, the light hitting them and stuff, and I said, wow, look at that. It's a Les Paul. I know it's an Epiphone, but it's a Les Paul. And I said, I don't have a model like that. I don't have that. And they were on sale, believe it or not, for $199. And I won't ever forget that. And I was like, $199. And they had 2 that were like this with the the black humbuckers, and they had 2 with the metal covers, the covers, yeah. And I said, I like this, with the black pickups. And I said, man, golly, I wish I had $200, And so I left, went and picked my mom up, and then we met my father for dinner. And we were sitting there, and he said, so what'd you do today, son? I said, I went to Mars Music, checked it out. And he said, what was you looking at? And I was like, he's actually asking me what I'm looking at. So is this going to go further? Do I have a shot at this? And I said, well, blah, blah, blah. I told him the whole story. He's like, well, maybe we just might ride by there and check it out. And I was like, I started finishing my dinner, I was like, let's go, So we went and we walked in there. And now remember, at the beginning of the story, they had 4.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went there, and that was only just a few hours difference. A few hours difference from when I was there, and then went to pick my mom up, and they had 2 left, and they had this one with this, and then one more with the silver covers. And I said, that's it right there, that's it. And he said, I said, it's $199. I said, you're not going to beat that. I said, that is just unbelievable. So he said, go ahead and get it. And my mom picked out this strap, and it's got like these little, I don't know, little lizards or something on it. She's like, it matches the color of the guitar. You know, I was like, that's cool with me, you know. So I got this and a strap, and that's why I'll never part with it, because my parents got it for me, and yeah, it was $200, but the sentimental value is worth it.
That story alone is worth keeping it forever.
Oh, absolutely,
and it's amazing, by the way. That's
thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's you know, it's not a Gibson, but I mean,
it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That type of story, it could have been, you know, it could have been the guitar strap itself.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the same with my 5150, man. My 5150, my father gave me the money to get that, you know, and I've had it all these years. You know, I went to the music store. This is after I done moved to South Carolina, and I was in my first marriage, and there was a store in Spartanburg at the time called Express Music, and I went there, and this 5150 was, I guess it was like a floor model. It was like because it was the only one they had, so it was out there on the floor for people to, you know, plug into and play and all that. And I saw it, and it was there for about, I guess, about a month or two. And my father gave me the money to get it, you know, because I couldn't afford to get it, you know. And
is it a head and cabinet? What is it?
Yes, the PV 5150 head and cabinet. Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll see if I can show you, if I don't knock nothing over here. Let me see here. We can do this. Okay, here we go. You're taking a trip through time. It's the Twilight Zone. Okay, you see that right there?
I certainly do.
That is it. That's the 5150 head and cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The original. So yeah, man, it was he got me that, and it was on the floor model, and I walked in there, and I was like, man, I've never played through a half stack in my life. You know, I didn't know what that felt like, you know, and I've always had little amps that, you know, they did the job, but they were little because that's all I could afford. And I plugged just a guitar cable. I said, man, can I get a guitar off the wall and plug in here? The guy said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And they kind of look at you like he's really going to get that. You know what I'm saying? Them looks you get, you know. And because I used to go in there quite a bit, but I always, you know, it was either like, you know, a pack of guitar strings, or, you know, I did have a guitar painted one from somebody through there one time, and that turned out really good. So I said, can I grab a guitar and plug into this amp? He said, yeah, go with me, feel free. And he kind of went about his business. So I plugged it in, you know, played it, and I was like, this is freaking amazing. It's got Eddie's signature on. I mean, it's a stamp signature, but it's still, you know, and I was like, oh man. So I unplugged it. I walked back up to the front, and I said, I think I'll take it. And the guy's like, he starts going through these files, like getting paperwork out. He's like, all right, you want to try to finance that? I assume. That's like, you assume incorrectly, sir. I like to pay for it right now. He's like, oh, really? It's total face. He's just like, you know. And he said, okay. And he said, I'll help haul it out to your car. I said, I'm in a pickup truck, so that'll work out great, and everything else. And so that's how I got it. And I've had it ever since. And there was something I did want to ask you. I remember, because Johnny, his tube, he needs his retubed or something. Mm-hmm. And I heard you say this one time, and I can't remember what you said, but you said there was something you had to do to your head when you get it retubed. There's something you always...
They need to be biased.
Please explain that to me, because I've never heard that.
It's not something you can do yourself. You need to get it done. It's like it's virtually the same thing as saying, you know, as putting a set of strings on but not tuning the guitar to pitch. You know, you got strings on it, it'll make noise, but it's not going to be in tune. Same thing with it. It's like a car tune-up. You know, you can put new plugs and everything, but it's got to be tuned to the engine. It's got to be tuned. Same thing with the head. You got to make sure that the tubes are, you know, at the same resistance, and whatever the plate voltage, everything has to be within a tolerance, or else you can blow your amp up. The tubes might last a week, a day. you know, but with, you know, when they're biased, I mean, you could conceivably have a set of tubes in there for 10 years.
That's funny you say that, because when I got this amp, I had it for a week, and I went to turn the power on, and the power wouldn't come on, and I was like, what's up with this thing here? So I called the guy at the shop, and I said, hey man, something's wrong with his head, you know. And I mean, I triple checked it.
Well, it's probably the bumpy ride probably, you know.
It might have, because in South Carolina everything's a bumpy ride. I'll tell you that right now. So where are you going to?
One thing about tube amps is, you know, they're all that is glass. It's glass and filaments, like, you know, like lights. It's basically a light. So, and they're not meant to take shots, you know.
Right.
So, you know, and quite frankly, tube amps are dying from the minute you turn them on. They start dying.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've called the guy, I said, man, it's not cutting on. I mean, I'm not getting any power. So we took it back up there, and they checked it, and there was something, I don't know what you call it, Mr. Dave. I'm not a tech person, but there's something like I can't remember if he said like the transformer or something was bad, and
well, transformer being bad that's a big operation.
I can't remember if that's the correct thing he said, but I just remember
a preamp tube could have been bad.
It could have been, but I remember them.
Preamp tubes are about $12 each. So,
okay,
you know,
because
they're not expensive, but if the one in the first position goes, you're not really getting any sound.
Right. Right, because I remember they said it was something also. I remember this now. It just popped in my brain here. It said something about a grounding issue was going on as well.
Okay.
And but anyway, it had a year warranty on the head, so they sent it to PV. A week or two later, it came back. I went and picked it up. It worked fine. Okay, so fast forward until about let's say 2005 somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a band, you know, we're practicing, we're jamming, you know, in my buddy's garage, man. He's got this nice 2-car garage, you know. We have all our equipment set up, you know, like the same we'd have it set up on stage, you know. We get to his house, he just, you know, walk in the front door, go to the garage, everything's set up, man. I was like, this is the freaking best time of my life, you know, because I was like, this is awesome, you know. I'm in a band, we all get along, we're playing 70s, 80s, top 40, you know, and everything's set up. So we're sitting there jamming, we're playing, and I'm sitting there, you know, we're playing, I don't know, whatever, Tom Petty song or something. And I'm sitting there playing, and all of a sudden I hear my amp go down, down, down.
Yeah.
And then back up again. And I'm like, who is effing with I thought one of the guys was turning the volume down and turning it back up, just messing with me, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, you know,
that's power tube.
I was like, don't you dare touch the Joe Wentz. No, I said, hey, what's going on? And I looked, and the guys is over here where they're supposed to be, you know. I was like, well, what the? And everybody stopped playing, and they was like, dude, what's wrong with your amp, man? I was like, I don't know. You know, I was like, maybe it was a power surge. Well, it kept happening. So a buddy of mine in the band, I had sold him a Telecaster. It was a cheap, like, you know, Jay Terser Telecaster, but he liked it, so he wanted to buy it. And he was having trouble paying me for some reason. It's not like I charged him an arm and a leg, you know. I charged him like $100 something for it, you know. And he said, I'll tell you what, man, I'll take that head up to the music store, and I'll pay to have it fixed, and we call it even for the guitar. How about that? And I said, works for me, you know. So that's, and ever since then, it's been fine. And that was like since 2005. So I haven't had.
Yeah, but
again, I don't turn this on all the time either.
I understand that, but in the near future, you're probably going to need to get it retubed again, because I mean,
right.
Tubes generally don't last longer than a year or two, you know, consistently. So, you know, there's really no, you know, it's always different. You can get a brand new set of tubes, and in a day they'll be blown, and you can have, or they'll last for 10 years. So you're lucky. I think you've done pretty darn good in 2017 on one set of tubes. You know.
Yes.
So
yes, that's awesome.
So, you know, I would put $200 away, and when your amp goes, know that it's the tubes. You
Get
need
it
to get
right.
the tubes changed.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you told me that information about the bias things. I was like, what was he talking about? So now I understand.
Yeah.
Daniel Hall. What's up, Daniel Hall? Timothy Pierce says, great story, Joe. Adam says, great story. Michael says, thank you guys for listening to my story.
Yeah.
And Timothy Pierce says, nice amp, Joe. Blackie DH says, nice amp. Daniel Hall says, I love those amps. Adam Scheinberg, his first guitar was his Strat from his parents. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Mike himself says, there's nothing to be said about sentimental value. I have a 1994 Gibson Les Paul Studio I bought brand new, delivering pizzas and cutting lawns for a whole summer. Wouldn't sell it for anything. There you go.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And Adam Schomburg says, great to see you guys. I guess he had to leave. All right, Adam, thank you for stopping by, man.
Take care.
Michael Smith has an interesting question. Mr. Dave, doesn't some amp models have a self-bias feature?
Yes, it's called fixed bias. Some amps do. Most heads don't. I believe the 5150 head is one of them where you have to bias it. But
okay.
Some little amps, whether like some Tweed amps, you don't have to do that. Like
oh, that's interesting.
Tweed amps, Class A amps don't have to.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Very
some
interesting.
small amps you don't have to, but most heads you do.
David Allen Wright, what's up, Mr. Wright? He says just got home from a 12-hour day. So did the Para pickup sound good? I have a set for 07 Shark.
Sound amazing, Dave. You will not be upset when you get this set of pickups in your guitar. Get both of them, and when you have it wired, wire it like a Les Paul. Don't wire it where the neck pickup is not working, because that pickup sounds amazing. They both sound amazing. Wire it, so that hang on, I can't see. Wire it so when the switch is down, your bridge pickup is on. When it's in the middle, both pickups are on, and when it's up, the neck pickup is on. Don't worry about the stutter like Eddie did, where only the bridge pickup was working and this was not working. It's a great guitar if you have both pickups hooked up, and get both pickups. They're great.
Awesome. Great information. Let's see. Adam EVH. Joe, do you and Johnny have the same PV head? We do. I think the only difference is mine has the stamp signature and his actually says, like in block letters, I think his says Eddie Van Halen or something on it. Dave,
his says EVH. It's probably the first year. Yours is is Mach 2, probably the second or third year. Yours is probably like a 1993. I think 1991 is when that amp came out, and 91 and 92 was block letters, and then in 93 they started using his signature. That's really the only change.
Right. That's the only difference. Yeah, it's just that little thing right there. Other than that, they're the same. Yeah. Let's see. Timothy Pierce says you can also blow the tube and other components out if you do not bias the amp after changing the tubes. That's what Mr. Dave was just explaining. Yes, that's true. Most Randall amps have auto bias feature, Timothy Pierce says.
Yeah, but they're Randalls. Who cares?
Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. Adam EVH. Yes, I would. That's what I was asking Mr. Dave. He says, Adam EVH says, would you have to bias a EVH 5150? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you have to bias a EVH 5150 50 watt when getting new tubes?
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Yes, because this is the man to ask those questions, because all the technical stuff, I have no clue. I'm just.
Basically, you're not going to retube your amp to begin with. You're not going to do it by yourself. You're going to take it to a tech, and the tech will know what to do. If you're taking it to an amp guy, he will know what to do. He'll put the new tubes in, and he'll bias it, and he'll make it right. The whole job is about $200. And if the guy has tubes in stock, he should be able to do it while you wait. It doesn't take very long. And if they say, well, it's going to take a month to do, don't listen to that. Take it somewhere else. It should never take that long. I don't care if they have 10 amps in front of you. If they have 10 amps in front of you and all you need to do is a retubing, and they're saying it's going to take, a month, bye.
Well, what kind of tubes would this 5150 head take, Dave? There's
6L6s.
6L6s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
do you know how to bias a head?
Do I know how? No, I don't. You need an oscilloscope to do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I was gonna say, when you come down for the holidays, whatever, you knew how to do it, I'd pay you to do it, because I've never.
Unfortunately, I take all my amps to my buddy Jack, and I have him worry about it.
Right. Would it? This is I know it's gonna be a dumb question, man, but I'm gonna ask because I don't know. Would it be safe to take that head to Guitar Center and have them retube it?
Yeah, well, they're gonna send it out to their company, to a company that they use. They're not gonna do it there.
Oh, okay. Well, then it'd be okay then. Okay. They'd send it out. Okay. I was just curious.
That's it. I haven't worked there since 2008. And when I worked there, they used to do that. They used to be a service station where, but I don't know if there's still a service station. I don't know if they'll service amps. I know. I know they have a guitar tech now. Most stores have a guitar tech.
Right.
But I don't know if they'll actually be a service station for your amplifiers anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think they have that either, now that I think about it. JJ Collins is in the house. He says, hey, everybody.
Yeah,
David Allen Wright says you have to load, test, then bias level. Okay, cool. Michael Smith has a question for Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave, do you know what tubes are in a PV XXX amp head?
Yeah, they're probably 6L6s.
Okay. Wow. It's very interesting.
It's very similar to the 5150. XXX, very similar. I don't think PV makes an EL34 head. I think they're all 6L6s.
Mm-hmm. Right. In the EL34 head, isn't that now correct? I'm going by what I thought I heard, and I could be, have this totally wrong. But in the EL34 head, kind of a less distorted, kind of more clean?
No. 6L6 is basically it's American versus British. 6L6s are more of an American sound, and EL34s are more of a British sound.
Okay. So you still got that same level of
yeah
with it. Okay.
Yeah. It sounds a little different and it feels a little different, but they're 100 watts is 100 watts.
100 watts is 100.
50 watts is 50 watts. No matter what tubes you put in, it still fit.
Because now isn't there a EVH EL34 head available?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's going to sound more like an old. It's going to sound more like a Marshall than like a Boogie.
Right. That's okay. That makes perfect sense. Let's see. The Vigilant says, took my Wolfgang to the shop once. They floated it. Went to Mully's channel and FU Tone's channel to set up my guitar from now on. Well, let's see. David Allen Wright says XXX was solid state preamp and different transformer.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Wow, that's pretty wild, because all I ever had before this was, like I said, little solid state practice amps. You know what my very first practice amp was when I got my first guitar in 1986 on Christmas Eve? A Gorilla. That's what it was. It was a Gorilla. It sure was, man. It's about that big.
Mm-hmm. Black with the orange writing on it that says Gorilla.
Yeah, it was kind of diagonal, like,
yeah,
Gorilla, and I was like, wow, I got an amp. I didn't, if you had that thing now, you'd be like, oh, but back then that was the stuff, man, that was the thing back then. Let's see. JJ Collins, this is interesting. Joe, your PV 5150 head does not need biasing. There is no bias adjustment on the original 5150, only the 5152. If
Well,
you
there you
put
go. So maybe
if
you
you
don't
put
need
it
the
in a
bias wheels.
if
I
you
know
put
that
in a matched set of tubes, you will be good to go.
there you go. I know that the EVH branded 5150s all need biasing.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
I don't think I ever biased an old 5150, but if he says you don't have to, then you don't have to.
That's cool because I don't know. That makes me feel better. I can just, I can just buy the tubes and pop them in then, right? So if that's the case, Johnny can do that to his. He can just put some new tubes in. Let's see here. Michael Smith says, my Triple X PV amp sounds awesome. It is a first run version.
Cool.
That's awesome. Timothy Pierce says, I had or have a Marshall lead, the 12. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Campor says, but you won't be able to find the original tubes for it. I guess he's talking about the 5150. Wow.
Really?
Probably.
They're not regular 6L6s?
I don't. I guess that's what he's referring to. I don't know.
I have no idea. I would imagine.
Oh, he says, Bill Campori says, I think they were Sylvanias.
Well, you can use any brand.
Okay.
You don't have to use the brand that it came with. You can use any brand.
Right. JJ Collins, the new 5150s do need biasing. I have owned a few original 5150s, no biasing needed. Yes, Johnny can do the same. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Collins, for that helpful information. That's very cool. It's awesome, man. Very nice. Dave, you looking to the side. Is it about time to?
No, my dog is panting, and it's a little warm in here, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put her out and then turn the air conditioner on in the bedroom and let her go to bed.
I understand.
I would stay out longer, but it's about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's close to being that time, and I want to thank everybody for jumping in here with some great comments and great questions and bouncing questions off Mr. Dave. And Mr. Dave, thank you for answering my questions too.
Anytime. I come back anytime you want me to. You know that.
Oh, that is awesome. I really had a great time. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in here and watching this Joe Wentz Project Live broadcast. Thank you so much. Again, special thanks to my guest, Mr. Dave Nesdall, the guitar and tech master. Thank you so much. And everybody have a great evening. Be safe. Take care. And until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.